the cheap little Walmart ice cream sandwiches, which, again, poor kid who grew up loving his snacks, those ice cream sandwiches are the gold standard, okay? Cheap, like great value, 12 sandwiches in a $2 box. That is the standard for what an ice cream sandwich is. Now, with that being the standard, let me tell you about heaven when it comes to ice cream sandwiches. Okay, this is paradise for ice cream sandwiches. This is the Naples, Florida of ice cream sandwiches.
Here we go. Hey, hold my beer.
And now...
Well, should I hit this button to see how it's... Because the last time I played this button, it didn't really come through as good.
Aw, I heard it just fine.
I don't know. Right, but I wonder if it has something to do with the recording because I've got to hook some other stuff up to it. Like, I have not figured out everything about this. There's no possible way to do that.
You're winging it, bro. You're picking it up as you go. Nobody's judging you. Besides,
oh, no.
Anybody that's listening, if they've listened this far, they've got a ton of grace for us. So,
have you heard any of my soundboards yet?
You played the air horns. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be so problematic.
Yeah,
You're
heard this.
Drop that in such a random time, and I'm
I like this one.
Oh my gosh! Hang on, do the air horn again. It's the freaking Catalina wine mixer, baby! Oh, man. That's all I can think of. Boats and hoes. Boats and hoes.
Ooh. And we'll have to reach out to Chance, too. See if he wants to come on the week before his show. Is that some Disney stuff right there?
That definitely sounds like you're turning into a Disney princess. So thank you all for listening to all these sound effects. I hope you were prepared for them.
I wasn't even prepared for them. The other two are intro and outro, so I don't want to waste our vocal presence on them, but it is what it is. But how you been, bud?
Oh, I've been good, dude. It's been a good week. We are narrowing in, man. We're close to having this thing on the market. I'd guess another week's worth of work.
Ooh. What electrical work did you have to do yesterday?
Dude, we put in a... Okay, so have you been to our house?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, remember I got stuck on your road?
Yes, I do remember that. Did you go downstairs at all?
No, I have not been downstairs.
Okay. So going down the stairs, you would have noticed that it's really dark. Yeah. Can you hear me?
I think you cut out, bud.
Oh, no. Trying to reconnect. Make sure you have a stable internet connection. I didn't even consider that being an issue. Bobby, if we have issues on this episode, it would be because I am currently in stormy weather and things are not great quality. So I will continue to talk and act as if we have a normal feed. If you do the same, it should come together, right? Because we've got the personal. Well, like we each upload our copy of the video. So
yeah,
I'll continue.
But no,
to
I
talk
have not
if
been
you miss it.
downstairs.
Okay. Anyway, so downstairs, normally there wouldn't be any light because, like, you go to flip the stairwell, the only light that comes on is down sliding in the stairwell. So it was always really dark and kind of bad. So Uncle Jeff helped us. We basically popped open the electrical box that's where the switch is, and we ran wire up to the attic. Yeah. Well, not the fuse box, just the switch right there, and then ran it up to the no, not the
breaker box.
Just a single light switch. We tapped into the light switch and then ran.
Oh, okay. Oh, you were adding a light. That's right.
Up
okay.
to that spot, and then hooked up a light fixture up there, so that when you flip that switch, it not only turns on the downstairs light, it now will turn on this stairwell light too. So we got a nice bright stairwell light.
Oh, kind of like how
nice
your old
bright
house
stairwell
was.
light now, so you can see where you're
Oh,
walking
okay.
and everything like that. So now that's left is just the stairs, which I found out I've got to trim the nose off of the stairs because that's just how it works with the way the tongue and groove that we're doing. So I have to trim all the nose steps off. But after that, the downstairs bathroom, we got to cut the hole out for the toilet and lay the floor there. But then we're done. I have to finish pressure washing the back of the
Nice.
house and stain the back deck. That's what's left. I
Did
the
you
front
do the back deck by
myself.
yourself?
The back deck we haven't finished yet, but we will. Oh, you mean like repairing it?
Ooh.
Yeah, that's all done.
Yeah.
I got all the bars replaced and everything. Oh yeah.
And
that
you did
wasn't
all
super
that
hard.
by yourself?
Because it wasn't any of the like
I just
boards that you step on. It was all just like part of the railing and stuff like that. All that stuff was falling
okay.
apart. So I was
Yeah, 'cause
repairing those.
if it was my first job, I probably wouldn't trust myself to do something like that.
No,
for the
yeah.
support
If I
part
was
of it.
dealing
Like,
with
that's just
support
me. I mean, I know how to do it
or
if
flooring,
I'm following.
I would have had somebody else do it. But literally, all I was doing is just replacing the face bars because the dog had chewed them up a whole bunch from being outside. So
Wow.
we just replaced the ones that she chewed up, and then yeah, I've got to pressure wash it and stain it, and it'll look brand new. So
Nice. I mean, I didn't know you were that handy. I mean, I think I could probably trust myself with
you'd
railings.
be amazed
for sure.
at how
Like, that
simple it
seems
is
like would
once
be
you
pretty.
like start looking at stuff and realize like how easy it is. Yeah, it's not hard at all. And the pieces, they pre-make those at Home Depot. Like you can go buy a bundle of 16 of those and just you put them in, screw them into the like unscrew the old one, put the new one in, screw it in, and you're good. Yeah,
Yeah, they're
it
like
wasn't-
beveled
yeah,
in
it
or
wasn't a
whatever. They're
challenge
like
at all.
beveled on
So-
each end. Yeah. Yeah. Like that, I would trust myself with. But
Some of this
support part
stuff
it,
has been a
probably
little
not.
intimidating, but all in all, I feel pretty good about it. I can tell you this much: I feel like I could put this flooring in professionally now. It is not that complicated.
Nice. Maybe you'll have another. I mean, speaking of professional and doing something on side gigs, I mean, your kid,
Dude,
he could
yeah,
work on boats
that's
now.
so
Well, certain
fun, man.
boats.
Casey, absolutely. Casey got he finished, so he's in Marine Tech, and I mentioned that to you the other day on the phone. But yeah, he got his OSHA certification, which I don't support that anyways. I'm against OSHA. we all know that OSHA's the bad guys.
Stepping over.
I'm kidding. But that, and he's also got his Yamaha certification, so he can work on Yamaha boats. Yeah.
Does that travel
absolutely.
over states
So
too?
when we get down to Florida, if he
Oh, that's
chooses to
good.
go work at a marine shop, he's already certified in the electrical side of Yamaha, so he knows what he's doing.
So he's pretty
wants-
much got a job
If he
if
wants
he
to
really
go
wants
that
one when he
route,
gets there.
he absolutely has the skills to start at the very least as a beginner in a boat shop. And I'm telling you, dude, the money
Yeah,
he could
usually
make
cleaning
doing
boats at
that
the bottom.
as a side hustle while getting through college, and dude, if this kid will do the hustle, he will have a life well lived and doing exactly what he wants to do.
And they'll be seniors
Yep.
next year, right?
Seniors in high school. I know. It's crazy, right?
Creepy.
Feel old yet?
Oh, it's
do.
wild.
Yeah.
Me? Oh, I felt old months ago.
Having two seniors
talking
in high
about?
school, about to have two seniors in high school, definitely makes you feel old.
Well, I mean, I wish I could say that I knew what
What are
it
you
felt like
talking
to
about,
have
Bobby?
two
You know what it
seniors
feels
in
like to
high
have
school, but I don't,
grandkids.
so shut your mouth.
Speaking of Holly, how is she?
And plural is not a good way to start that. Like it's not grandkids. It is a child who is also a grandchild to my wife.
What, bro?
Okay, how's that?
Would you
I mean,
just
it's a
own
lot of
it? Like, embrace that she's grandma and you're grams. Like, be that guy. He's
Yeah.
Bob.
I'm
He's
Bob. I'm Bob.
He's Bob.
She don't call me nothing but Bob, so
Oh,
we're good.
man.
No, she was here 2 weeks ago, but I haven't
good?
seen her since.
She's doing
She
good?
stayed 2
Okay.
weeks ago. Well, yeah. I mean, What
Bro,
does a 4-year-old have to complain
4-year-olds
about?
have
Other than a
crises
Barbie
too.
going missing.
They're just smaller in scale to us.
Yeah, and like here, she didn't have a crisis, so whatever happened to her beforehand, she didn't have to talk about.
I just
so
mean like
usually she
know,
does.
she could have maybe her dolls are fighting or something. I just didn't know if you were tuned in, if you were close to Holly enough to know what the drama is, how she's doing, what's the sitch.
To be honest, if she was saying something about it, I probably wouldn't be able to understand it. Be like, "What did you just say?"
She talks. It's because she's a child, and any voice under the age of 8 is like nails on a chalkboard to you.
Well, no, it's not bad. Like it's just like it's repetition of like. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
Hey!
What?
Can I tell you something?
What do you have to tell me?
Can I tell you a story?
What do you have to tell me?
I'm gonna tell you a story.
Your lollipop melted and it rained down your arm. Yeah, we all know this. We see it.
Owen,
You're a
Jen's
filthy
boy,
mess. That's what.
Some of the stories he would tell, man, just the funniest stuff. Like he had the wildest stories,
Oh yeah.
making up all sorts of crap. Let me tell you.
Oh, she had this one story about an owl in her backyard. I was like, what?
Kids tell stories, man. They've got all sorts of creativity.
Oh, if you could have kids like just record everything that they've ever thought of, like we'd probably have a better.
I want us to
Disney
bring,
Channel.
like, I don't
I'm
know
just
why
saying.
we don't still have Kids Say the Darndest Thing as a regular TV show.
Well, now it's
Still
America's
not
Got
as funny.
Talent.
Like, give me 4 to
it's
7-year-olds just saying the silliest shit in front of an audience.
Well, now we have TikTok.
You're right. You're
TikTok. That's where it's at. Have you seen that girl that tells the story about going to a museum, seeing a dead body wrapped up in a mummy, and then she says she saw a ton of penises on the wall? Like
and she's
there was
describing, yes. That girl is so funny, but that's a
that
great
is like
example
one of the funniest things.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's like, what did you just see? Or what did you say you saw? A penis. A penis.
Yeah,
well, she kept calling them penises.
Penises. Oh man, that's so ridiculous. But yeah, no, kids are hilarious, dude. They say the cutest stuff and the funniest stuff. Like it's just because there's no limit to their imagination, and there's nothing like the barrier between reality and fiction isn't clear enough yet. So,
oh, they go above and beyond to make it believable to them too. So, like, if they're telling you a story about their snacks or their food or their dolls or their toys, like it's going to be a legendary level.
Epic
Every time. Your doll went to space last night and now she's back. Man. Okay. I'll believe it. Let's believe it. In a world filled with imitations, there's one name that stands out above all the rest. Rage Beef Jerky, a small batch jerky company that sets the standard for what it means to be 100% grade A quality beef.
Rage Beef Jerky is the self-proclaimed world's best beef jerky. But just because it's self-proclaimed doesn't mean it's not true.
Rage Beef Jerky is made right here in the USA. It can be found in 5 states across 400 plus locations ranging from Kansas, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Missouri, and Arkansas.
But if you're not near those states, all you've got to do is visit www.ragebeefjerky.com, and you could choose from any of the 6 flavors that they got of jerky or beef sticks. They got both now. They're really good. The flavors are original, teriyaki, hot, cracked pepper, sweet, and spicy, or you can go with my all-time favorite, which is bacon jalapeno. Chef's kiss.
Rage Beef Jerky has given our listeners the opportunity to save 15% off their order. At checkout, use promo code CHUBBY, that's CHUBBY, and save 15% off your order. Don't let your taste buds suffer through any more mystery meat products. Visit www.ragebeefjerky.com and let your taste buds rage.
Get your jerky on.
Speaking of food, though.
Food? I don't think we were talking about food.
Well, no, I was saying like if they were talking about like their hot dog or whatever going to space, or like they would tell a story about their hot dog.
If the moon
was made I wouldn't go to space, but
would you eat it?
Was made of hot dog. I would.
I sure would.
I sure would. But I wouldn't eat no hot dog.
No hot dog
Not
moons?
hot dog moon. That's not my thing. No. Hot dogs for me are like disgusting. Like only
So
because
have
I've
I.
seen how they're made.
So have I.
Only because I've seen how they're made.
Who
And
cares? It's an American.
It ruined it. It ruined it.
Delicacy. 2 for everybody.
A delicacy?
Yeah, dude. A hot
Can you
dog,
really call it a
absolutely.
delicacy?
A Nathan's hot dog, all beef, delicious, perfect. Or a Costco hot dog, yeah, bro. I will 100% take, bro. I take all the body parts you want from the leftover pig and cow, and chop them up, shove them through a processor, feed it out in little tubes. I will eat them. I will throw them on a bun, put my ketchup and mustard on there, and chow away. I am a hot dog eater through and through.
However, will eat a better cheddar. Like better cheddar for me
A bratwurst
is probably a
with
hot dog
cheese
for
in it?
you.
Yeah, dude. I mean, they're good.
It's not a bratwurst though. That's not a real
Correct.
bratwurst.
It's a
better cheddar is not a
Johnsonville brat, which are inferior brats. I agree. Yeah, pre-cooked sausage.
Pre-cooked sausage
with cheese in it. You're right. It's okay.
Yeah,
but yes, no. I just love hot dogs. In fact, I prefer the classic mixed hot dog, the chicken, pork, and beef. Yeah, give me that over the all beef.
So is that like a staple in your house? Like, do you have staples? Is hot dog one of those staples?
I would say you'd find bologna more often. I mean, we're going to have hot dogs, but Heather eats a lot of beef hot dogs. But we've definitely got other staples in the house. Hot dogs I wouldn't call hot dogs the staple in our house. But I guarantee you, every week you will find in our house, oh gosh, Kraft macaroni and cheese is a no-brainer. Like, it's got to be Kraft. I'll tell you what, for me, it's Fat Boy ice creams. Dang, right, I did. Fat Boy ice creams. Okay, you've never had these. Yeah, the ice cream sandwiches.
The ice cream sandwiches?
Oh,
ice cream sandwiches? Oh, those are good.
Okay, look. You're already shelling out big bucks for ice cream nowadays anyways. I can guarantee it. If you buy ice cream, you're spending at least $8 on your ice cream, unless you're buying ice cream, the cheap little Walmart ice cream sandwiches, which, again, poor kid who grew up loving his snacks, those ice cream sandwiches are the gold standard, okay? Cheap, like great value, 12 sandwiches in a $2 box. That is the standard for what an ice cream sandwich is. Now, with that being the standard, let me tell you about heaven when it comes to ice cream sandwiches. Okay, this is paradise for ice cream sandwiches. This is the Naples, Florida of ice cream sandwiches. And it is Fat Boy. This thick ice cream sandwich, probably easily a third of an inch of ice cream, maybe even a half an inch. And then just the two thin little cookie things. They're soft. I'd say they kind of have an Oreo taste to them. Not quite the texture. They're still soft, but definitely a very nice, rich chocolate taste. But the ice cream is just real, just delicious churned vanilla, great rich flavor, very dense. Every bite is just gourmet. Love it. And it's good sized. It's perfectly portioned so that you feel like you're actually getting good dessert. So.
See, I love a good ice cream sandwich, and those Fat Boys, like you said, they are phenomenal. But I'll do you one better, okay? If an ice cream sandwich for me isn't a staple, like for me, ice cream part of it is going to be the Snickers ice cream bars.
Oh.
Those are my staples, like that I always usually have in the freezer. But if I'm going to kick it up a notch, now I will tell you this: if I could still find them regularly or at the local supermarket, it would be a Mississippi Mud ice cream sandwich. I do not see those anywhere. Mississippi Mud is the gold standard for me. Like, I will eat that any day of the week. But they don't make them anymore. It's not that they don't make them. They just don't sell them at our store. The only time I ever saw them was like usually on the ice cream truck guy. Like, that's when he would sell them. Like, how about those Dairy Queen ones that are round? Like, they weren't dilly bars, but they were the ice cream sandwich.
I remember those. Those were good.
Circular cookies that you could buy.
I would say that might be the closest comparison to a Fat Boy.
Yeah, only the Dairy Queen ones are about an inch thick from cookie to cookie.
They're a little even wider. Yeah, you're right.
And it's
So,
But for me, like a staple, like it has to be like
What's a
something that I'm
staple
going
in
to
our
eat
house,
every
bro?
week. Like for
something
sure.
that's here every dang week. Tea, sweet tea, baby,
Bacon?
sweet tea. Let me tell you, if I don't have my tea, it's a problem. No
See,
way.
I got burned out on tea, and it could be a mix of your you guys always had sweet tea, always. Now, my grandmother also always had sweet tea, but it was also she would mix it up with sweet tea, and then she would have sun tea in the summertime. Like that was her thing. I just burned myself out on tea, probably. You'd think that would happen with pop, but they don't. Like pop is just like,
I've carried
oh
on.
Lord.
I've
I found a
carried
new
on
drink
the
staple.
family tradition of tea in my house. There's always a jar made, and
Instant?
as soon as it's gone, there's a new jar getting made. Yep, last person has to make it.
The last person
Same
to
rules
get it.
apply.
But is it instant though, or is it like
instant.
tea
We
bags?
still use instant. Yeah, I ain't got the patience for tea bags.
I mean, it's good for. Did I hear Heather
That was
laugh
actually
because
Alexa.
you said you ain't get the
That was
patience
Alexa.
for
She
tea
was the one who
bags?
walked in earlier. So
Dirty minds.
she does have a dirty mind, but so do we. That's why you giggled too, Bobby. And nobody got time
It
for
was
tea
funny
bags.
for sure. A juice that I found. I don't know if you've ever had. Do you ever buy juice?
Like fruit juice or like
oh yeah, like orange
yeah.
juice. Orange juice is always good. Okay, the best orange juice that I've ever had is Simply Orange Juice. Like nothing beats it. Simply Orange Juice, and then I just found a new one called it's Minute Maid, like aqueous strawberry juice. It is so good.
That's it. Our OJ is. Isn't this what we usually get, babe? What was it? No,
Dole.
I don't remember. Whatever.
As long as it's not Sunny D. Sunny D is
orange
crap.
juice.
Okay.
It's orange drink.
Well, they have orange drink, and they also like when I went and got some orange juice, they actually have one that's just pure orange juice. Is
Sunny
what it says,
D
made
does?
from concentrate.
That's weird.
Sunny
D's
D.
an orange drink,
Yeah.
not orange juice.
Yeah, it's like
I love me
orange
some
sugar.
Sunny D though. I ain't going
It's
to
like
deny. I
Tang.
love Sunny D.
If I'm thirsty, Sunny D doesn't quench my thirst. Just plain, simply orange juice. I'm gonna chug that whole bottle. Like if I'm dying of thirst, I'm chugging that whole bottle.
I can do Sunny D at breakfast. I like it. It's good.
Oh, it's not bad, but like if I'm thirsty,
No.
like that's not the first thing I think of. But like, did
I
you like
liked
Tang?
Tang.
I like Tang.
wasn't like obsessed with Tang. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But as a kid, like you said, we were poor. We grew up poor. We usually always had that cheap, nasty pop
Yes,
that
sir.
was like juice pop.
Little
It was
barrel
like-
pops, little barrel sodas.
It was
yes, sir.
Yeah, the barrel sodas, or what's that other pop?
Yes, well,
yeah,
you
Big
had.
K,
We,
of
I
course.
was
But
going
what
to
was
say
the one before?
we
Shasta?
had Shasta was our cheap stuff. But then we had all the Kroger brand stuff.
What was the one that-
Dr. K and
Yeah,
K,
that Big K. Big K. Yeah, but there was other ones. Before Faygo started making its like face known to the Kansas culture or whatever, like there was a pop that was similar to that was just atrocious. It was just nasty. Like the first time that I ever had you make or try pineapple soda pop, like there's no reason you should have pineapple soda pop.
No, but I'll tell you this much:
But we had it.
out in California, or was it Colorado? Cactus Cooler.
I was in California, but we did get it.
Oh, I've had that.
Heather had me try that
I've had
Cactus,
Cactus
Cooler,
Cooler.
and that's like a pineapple soda, right? But that thing is so dang good. Let me tell you, Cactus Cooler soda is really
The only thing that is
good, but
better-
That's like a pineapple soda.
Oh, they're pretty good. But another one that I had, or that I was thinking of, like as a kid that we always had in our house was
Oh.
Capri Suns.
Yep.
Dude, we would tear those
Hang
up,
on,
bro.
hang
I
on.
could still drink a whole
Flip
box.
twist on that for those of you youngins out there. How many of y'all remember the old Kool-Aid jammers? The old twist tops?
with
or
the-
not
well, the
jammers.
jammers
yeah,
were-
you're right. Not
Well, those weren't-
jammers. It was
yeah,
Kool-Aid
yeah.
squeezies. Yeah.
Squeeze
Yeah,
bottles.
squeezies,
The
or squeeze
squeezies.
bottles or
Yeah,
whatever.
and you could-
and you twist the top off. Did you know?
Yeah.
I didn't know this. Did you know the point of that thing
Chug it.
is to be able to? No, it's not a straw.
It's a straw.
The twist part twist part, you can
I thought it
shove
was
it
a
back
straw.
in and close
Yeah.
your lid and close it. I mean, I don't understand
I
the
knew that-
logic of ever
I think I
not
saw
just drinking
somewhere
the
that it
whole
was
thing
also
in
a
one
straw.
shot, but
Yeah.
apparently that was the concept.
chugged
like
that
you
thing.
take the twist off and then
Like
flip it over. And,
one little squeeze,
Yeah,
that thing
bro,
was
that's,
gone.
That's a one shotter.
It was gone.
Pop the tap, man. It's been a long day.
But the Kool-Aid Jammers were
Squeeze it
also
out.
good. That was the Capri Sun of Kool-Aid. The Kool-Aid Jammers were the Capri Suns of Kool-Aid. But they weren't bad. But Capri Sun still holds true to $2 a box for
Capri
like 8
Sun
or 10 of them.
out
So,
here being the real ones, keeping that inflate gate down.
yeah, for $2.
Those are the real heroes, the people that don't jack up the prices.
Speaking of you, I see you eating there. Like, I remember you used to make us hamburger patties, like on your little stovetop grill.
That's why I didn't get
Like,
to
and you
on
ma-
here right away, is because I was making the patties for Heather.
And like you would use like this, like you made this your own seasoning container with your own
Bro, I don't
seasonings
play
in it.
around.
And
My
that's what you
burgers
would
are
put on it, and
always-
then melt it with cheese over the top.
Always flavorful. That might be my most
like a good burger.
important.
See, that's
thing
an
when I'm cooking
American-
food. But burgers are the thing I really got started on cheeseburgers. That's where I first discovered seasoning and all the different things you can do with it, how you can play around with it, how you can create flavor profiles just with your seasoning. Like,
Oh yeah, I love a good burger. Without the bun, it
I love
goes
a
a
good
long
burger
way
too.
without the bun.
I had never considered the possibility that you can make a burger taste Italian or Mexican or
Yeah.
and like by the seasonings you use, you can change what you feel like you're eating, even though it's still the same meat. I love it.
I'm surprised you didn't say bacon
So-
was a staple in your house.
Again, it would be if it were just me.
But she don't like
I'm
it.
married to a woman who, God bless her soul, she's perfect in almost every way, but she that's a load of crap, and she knows it. She's not even close to perfect, but she's got a
got
lot of good things going on
PTSD
that's
and
great about her.
in
One
biology.
thing that isn't so great is she is not a fan of bacon whatsoever, and that just breaks a man's heart. You know, it's you
Shame.
feel like you're going to pass on some deficiencies to your kids, but it's okay.
And turkey bacon is not
Those
bacon.
words
It's
should
not
only
even
be
close to
put
bacon.
together
So
on a
don't even-
menu when listing off ingredients of a club sandwich. Hey, that's hurtful. I think she got her point across.
Like, I'm going to change her name. I'm going to change her name in my phone to turkey bacon.
Turkey, ham, bacon. That's the only time those should ever be mentioned in combination, and it's part of a description of a club sandwich. Okay? Turkey, bacon ain't nothing.
Yeah.
It ain't a thing.
I mean, is there such thing as turkey sausage? Because that would be
yeah.
gross.
Absolutely. You can get turkey prepared.
Have you ever made a chicken
No.
hamburger?
No.
Out of
I've
ground
never
chicken?
I've never used
The reason
ground
why-
chicken.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they have it at the grocery. Like, Jack Stacks Eats went live on his Facebook, and he was trying to get people to tell him what he should buy for dinner. And he came across ground chicken, and he was going to make, like, that was one of his options. He was going to make ground chicken tacos.
If you season that right,
You
it
just put
shouldn't
in
be
some
a problem.
taco seasoning.
The only concern I have is
Right. Shouldn't
chicken
be.
doesn't cook. Chicken
The grease
doesn't
means
cook
a lot.
the same way as beef does. So all you're gonna do
Hamburger.
is
Yeah, you
all
don't
you're
have
gonna
to
do is just
drain
get
the
a bunch of
grease.
shredded, fluffy chicken taste with ground.
Yeah, I honestly, I mean, if you think of street tacos, probably wouldn't be bad with ground chicken.
What?
But I've just never had ground chicken before.
Simply orange. Simply orange. That's what
Simply
we got.
orange, the best. Told you.
Let's say, I thought
man.
that sounded familiar.
Simply the best.
What are their
Oh, it's
staples?
so good.
Cheese. Cheese is always in my house.
There's like 1,400 pounds right now.
There's
Yeah,
there's
usually-
currently
you use Kraft
not
cheese
always,
still?
but when I can, I do. Yeah. There's, I mean, like different cheeses. There are currently 3 or 4 different types of
Oh.
cheese in my fridge.
Yeah, I'm not into that. Like, I like Colby Jack,
Mild
sharp
cheddar,
cheddar,
medium cheddar.
Monterey Jack.
Yeah.
I'm a
I
sharp
love a
cheddar
good
guy.
sharp
I like
cheddar
a good
too.
sharp cheddar.
But I think
on,
you
like,
can find, you'll find if you go a medium cheddar with a good age on it, you actually get a stronger flavor profile. Sharp cheddar is kind of
Yeah,
just
I'm
a
not
kick in
into
the
the
mouth
profiles.
always. Medium cheddar has a higher profile range, and I found it's like a richer flavor if you go medium that's been aged a little bit.
See, cheese for you is like whiskey for me, and we've already went through this. Like, I don't look at the age of cheese. Like, as long as it tastes
I
good on
know
my
this is
tacos, I'm going to eat it. Like,
This is a silly thing to admit, but I feel safe enough I can admit this here. One of the things that is hardest about making this move, and I haven't admitted this to anybody, I feel like an idiot saying this out loud because everybody's right here. One of the hardest parts about this move is the fact that I'm not going to be near Osceola anymore. Yeah, the cheese market, the place that I've hit up at least a half a dozen times in my time of being here. Every time we go up that way, I always stop by the cheese market. Like anytime I can, I do because I love it. And the fact that I'm not going to be by here is kind of sad. There's sure
gotta be a
there
cheese market in
I'll
Florida.
find
I mean,
a new
it's
place
Florida.
to get my cheese, but it's a transition, man.
I've just never looked at, like, what are some concoctions that you've made with cheese that you've been like, oh, that was surprisingly really good? Like, my wife makes these nasty crackers. Like, she takes saltine crackers, covers them in cheese and hot sauce. That is nasty to me. I can't do it.
I don't. That's a tough one because most of my uses of cheese aren't that exotic. Grilled cheese, bro.
Or what about concoctions
you can
in general?
make Gruyere or Munster make one of the best grilled cheeses out there. Munster, I would say, is probably my favorite to make a grilled cheese with. It's a very melty cheese.
Is that like a concoction you've done?
I mean,
like different cheeses?
If you call that a concoction, it's not really anything other than switching out your cheese.
Well, a concoction that you would normally
just do
mix
like Kraft
together.
American
So like
cheese on their grilled cheese. If you up that to what? Ooh, Tillamook would be good too, but still Munster is even better. Like that specific type of cheese.
Tillamook's the Irish
is
cheese, isn't it?
Wisconsin, I believe. It's good good cheese. Don't get me wrong. Very good cheese. Tillamook's probably my favorite for standard medium cheddar, but not in particular what we're talking about. But
what's the Irish butter that they make? Like
yep, Kerrygold has a cheese.
Kerrygold,
which
okay.
I have Kerrygold cheese in my fridge. It is a sweeter. Well, it's weird saying this. It has an Irish profile. As silly as that sounds, when you eat the cheese, it tastes Irish.
You have those
shepherd's pie.
I could tell you. I've never been a fan of shepherd's pie. I've only had it.
But Irish has a taste.
Yeah, but I can't say that it would taste Irish to me. Shepherd's pie would also be German.
Yeah, but think
Germans
like lamb,
shepherd's
cabbage.
pie.
Think very land-oriented food, and think of the seasonings that they use in Irish food. It's a very earthy tone.
Cabbage.
And there's an element of sweetness to it. And you get that in the cheese. It's very good. Like the cow, whatever. Yeah. You can taste it in their food.
I always think of fungus when I hear Irish food, fungus. Well, what is that they put in the ground and they eat it on St. Patty's Day? It's like, what is that? It's like a main dish you eat on St. Patty's Day. It's
that's one that they eat, isn't it?
Potatoes is the first thing that I go to for
that's the
Irish
most
food.
common.
No, it's
I mean, the great Irish potato famine is a commonly known historical.
Yeah, but what is it's some type of beef. It's beef, cabbage, and something stuffed into
the one
like
the stacked in the sheets.
They essentially cook it in the ground.
Haggis. Yeah,
haggis. Yeah. Yeah, that's the first thing I think of when I hear but Irish dish.
In that
I can't
sense,
say that I've ever had
Irish
haggis.
food is very like it's a cold, wet climate and very earthy. So that's like how the food tastes.
But I didn't know shepherd's pie was like an Irish dish. I just
No.
thought it was straight German.
Pretty sure that's a mostly Irish dish.
But I
Anyways,
also don't like lamb
gosh,
at all.
what?
Like, at all.
Oh, Bobby.
I don't like lamb. I don't like gyros. I don't like
Bro,
gyros made
you are
with lamb
missing
meat.
out. Lamb
But I'll
meat
eat like a
gyro,
beef
that's where
gyro.
it's at.
I just don't. I don't like the flavor. I don't like the flavor of
so
the lamb.
lean.
Like at Fogo de
so
Chao, I
lean,
didn't eat the
it's got
lamb.
such a
I
good-
didn't eat the lamb
Such
at
a
Fogo de
different
Chao.
flavor profile.
Just never been a fan. But earlier we were talking about dishes
man,
that
yeah.
your wife makes, right? Like my wife makes
Messy.
some weird food, man. Like not that like she makes it just for me to eat. She'll just make these weird concoctions. Like they call them poor man's nachos, and it's just saltine crackers with cheese and hot sauce. And that's what
it sounds like poor man's nachos. If I were poor and I wanted nachos,
yeah, it's 98-cent nachos.
that would do it. Gosh,
But
no
then- okay.
concoctions. Okay, so most of what my wife cooks is good.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Sent you a message. Don't say nothing about my tuna crackers.
Yeah, no. Again, that most of what she makes is good. In particular, her dad has a recipe that she cooks called tuna on toast. And let me tell you, it is the most disgusting thing I have ever smelled, looked at, or even been in the room with. I mean, it would make...
So is it like shit on shingles for the
It's like
sea?
shit on shingles if you were feeding prisoners of war. But you had to abide by the Geneva Convention, so there was like a line that you had to follow that wasn't
my
a war
God.
crime.
That's awesome. And like she enjoys that dish, or does she make it
absolutely
for her
loves
dad?
it. Not only does she love it, she's got the kids loving it. Okay, and it's like it's weird, dude. It's like tuna, and then she adds like flour to it. Like she cooks it, so it's hot tuna. Then she makes this gravy that it's with, and then she adds peas to it, and then they pour that mixture over top of toast.
That's SOS,
No,
bro.
it's SO.
That's
It's
SOS with
if
tuna.
Somebody
With
like,
tuna.
If like somebody. Right,
Wanted
and
to
they
ruin
ate
your
it
month.
and then like puked it up a month later, and you had to eat that. Like that's what. It's so gross, dude. It looks like vomit. It smells like space trash, and it's yeah.
A space nugget. Okay, Jamie's never made this dish, but like you've met Brock, right? Like he's a like. Does he come off as a guy that
No,
would like
God,
weird
no.
things?
Just
to
the
eat?
opposite.
Like, I've always known him
I would
to be a picky
accept.
eater.
I would expect
Exactly.
that he would have the same eating habits that your brother did.
Exactly, like chicken wing, chicken
Very
tenders and French fries.
particular,
Like that would
very
be a staple
specific
in
kind of
their
stuff, yeah.
lives. Okay, Jamie tells me this story that Brock loves this dish and that his dad makes it. And when I tell you this dish, I want to call bullshit right away when he tells me this, that he loves this. They call it salmon loaf.
I'm already hating it.
Yeah. They take a pot, put salmon in it with the bones and everything just in a pot, fill it with milk
So
and
a
boil
fish,
it and put in yes.
salmon,
Yes.
boiled in
Salmon.
milk.
In milk and other juices and all this other stuff. And he says that he loves it. And I've never seen that dude eat anything outside of a cheeseburger at a restaurant. I call bullshit, and I want to see him eat it. And I want to see him enjoy every last drop of that before I will say, okay, he likes this weird dish, because it sounds
Milk,
utterly disgusting.
Boiled salmon.
Milk, boiled salmon. Yes. And it's called salmon loaf. Do you call BS on this too? With the bones in it. They eat the bones. Like that doesn't even sound like it would be a dish that people in the East or West Coast would eat.
It sounds like a dish
Does it?
that they would serve at Guantanamo Bay because you were a rude prisoner to the guards.
Or you like that's like a
Yeah.
cheap way to feed your inmates.
No, it sounds like a specific form of
I call
torture,
BS.
is what it sounds like.
Ugh. It's like the way she describes it, she says that like after it's all done that the juice is like pink from the salmon. It's like, ugh, like that's not normal. Like, don't talk about it ever again.
Ugh.
But I want the next time he brings it up, I'm gonna call bullshit right now because I don't believe that you like this. I think you eat it just because your dad makes it and you don't want to hurt his feelings. And I feel you on that because I've been there. I've eaten things that I just ate and been like, hey, I ate it. I never have to eat it again until they make it again. But one of these days, you're gonna have to like suffer the consequences of hurting somebody's feelings by saying, "Hey, I've never liked this."
Maybe it's
so please don't make it
Munchausen
again.
syndrome, and he just likes it because he's had to eat it for so long.
Oh, like there's nothing that would ever drive me to
That's
say,
nuts.
"Ooh, that sounds good." Yeah, it sounds nuts. But what's your favorite dish that your wife does
That's
make?
a tough one. Meatballs. She makes insanely good meatballs. Or no,
Like Swedish meatballs
No,
or
like-
meatballs and spaghetti.
think meatloaf, but individual balls. So good.
Oh,
So
okay.
good. No rice.
With
It's
rice or
meatloaf,
without
dude.
rice? Just use okay. Well, I'm saying like when I think of meatballs, I see a lot of people using
do
like
you
rice
like
as a
meatloaf?
binder to hold it together. It's
That's
okay.
so
It depends on
sad.
how it's made.
Her meatloaf,
Like that's
phenomenal.
the personal thing. Like I like meatloaf. I like meatloaf that's burnt on top, like the nice black char on top. So good.
Her lasagna, bro.
Hey,
She makes
don't judge me.
really good lasagna.
Mm,
Good mix of cheeses.
I like
She
a
had
good lasagna.
spinach to hers, which man, you don't taste it. You feel healthier as you eat it, just because you know there's spinach in there. You can see the green stuff. Yeah.
because you hear
So
there's spinach
immediately
in
you're
it.
like, "Yeah, dude, I worked out today. What are you talking about?"
There's one green that I will not eat. And
Kale's
that's
disgusting.
Kale. Like I pull kale out of everything
Yeah,
that's an
kale
option.
is.
But there's a dish at Olive Garden that I really like, and it's their
Mhm.
zuppa toscana. But I take out the kale. Oh man, that zuppa is so good. And I've made my own before, but it doesn't. Mine was a little thicker, but it was still good.
I made
But I
mine at
love
home
the
too.
zuppa toscana.
You can replace
Pull
the
out
kale
the
with
kale.
spinach, and it makes it really, really good.
Yeah, I just
Add
didn't
the greens.
add any
The greens
to
are
it. I just ate
necessary, my guy.
sausage with
It's so
potatoes
good.
and
Well, it's because
was happy
we're
with
fat
that.
kids that
Like,
don't
but
like our
also,
veggies.
I
so
didn't just,
Of course, you don't care.
but I didn't just have sausage, like ground sausage in there. I also added like kielbasa
That's
into
not
it.
bad.
Also, like diced kielbasa. It was so good. Yeah,
I make zuppa pretty regularly around here. What else is a
But
staple
why-
around here? Gosh,
it's pretty good.
she makes some pretty good stuff.
What about
Oh,
snack
my.
staples? So like chips. Like last week we talked about like my favorite chip, and I still to this day have not found anything
To
better.
this
Like,
day,
and that's
like
been
that was a week
so-
ago, dude.
It was a week
Oh
ago.
man,
I tried them 2 weeks ago, and I love them.
Staples.
Pringles, like Pringles.
Actually, so as of recently, because we have a Costco membership, something you will never not find at my house is peanuts. But specifically,
Hey, we're eating the caramel.
oh, nice. I'll talk about those next. These super extra large
Extra
peanuts.
large
They're like
peanuts.
Virginia style.
how
Bruh.
much bigger can a peanut be?
It's the consistency. They are all about this size. Okay. So that's a good size
Jesus.
peanut right there, right? Yeah.
That's like the size of a peanut
So
M&M.
they're all massive, big peanut M&M style peanuts. And it's a big
Oh, wow.
old can full of them. So my issue with peanuts,
Jeez,
I
the
haven't seen any cashews,
like that
but
too.
those peanuts, man, let me tell you, like, I like peanuts. I can't stand the overly burnt ones or the super small ones. So these, they're ready to go. It's so good.
I like a good peanut, like a peanut
Mm-hmm.
that pairs well with like M&Ms or Reese Pieces.
These
Oh yeah,
and M&Ms, like our Super Bowl mix, it's perfect. Perfect.
yeah, like a.
Mm-hmm.
I always have a trail mix in the house for sure. Always.
You can make your own with those. Championship Wrestling is rolling. Guys, we had a fantastic show at Legacy. So much fun, let me tell you. It was a blast. We got to see titles change hands. We got to see all sorts of major storylines develop. Let me tell you, we are dealing with the aftermath. I mean, the aftermath of Dick Richards being half owner of the company. I mean, it is just a mess, y'all. Let me tell you, Legacy was exactly that. It left a legacy in the minds of Wichita. They had a blast.
I was not ready for you to say Dick Richards. I was like,
oh,
wait,
Dick Richards, man, that punk. Man, he fired us. Can you believe that nonsense? We're starting out of the game. That punk Dick fired the Chubby Buddy, man. They were giving us our flower, telling us how good the food is. We made. He even admitted it. He even said it's great food. But because he's getting chubby, he doesn't want the Chubby Buddy there. So we're ixnayed. We're out. We're boots. That's okay because we're headed to Florida. So we'll survive. We'll get business down there. But man, let me tell you, HCW was a blast. Legacy was a huge hit. You can still catch it if you jump on their Patreon. Obviously, that's subscription-based, $5 a month. You can get on, see all the videos, see all the matches, see all the storylines develop. We saw some pretty amazing things happen. We saw Mindy Grace have a fight. She was supposed to be fighting for a title match, but that got messed up. I mean, it was just a wild night from start to finish. So, obviously, on our last episode, we kind of recapped all of that. But let me tell you, it's going
to be untoppable.
Absolutely. Well, not untoppable, but definitely a foundation to build upon, for sure. Because all you go up from here with that story. It's exciting. So, with that in mind, preparation for the next show that's coming up. Bobby, what's the date on that again?
I believe that's May 18th.
In
Wichita at the Osage Rec Center.
Osage Park and Rec Center. Man, again, like we said, it's coming up real fast. And that show is going to be called New Beginnings. Okay, doors going to open at 5 o'clock. Bell's going to ring at 6, like you've usually heard. Remember, guys, the tickets are $12, but kids 12 and under get in free. This is a great event to take your family to take kids to. It's very family friendly. And in fact, Legacy was very intentional. They made sure to communicate that the final match of the night was going to be a very aggressive and violent match. Three stages of hell, and made sure to let the families know. We actually watched about 10 families get up and leave after that, right before that last match, because they knew what it was gonna be. However, the 9 matches before it, huge, and their kids were ready to go home anyway. So it's a win for everybody. They don't have to fight traffic, and those that really want to see a hardcore style of wrestling, they get to stick around at the final match of the show and really got their money's worth. Let me tell you, it was a blast. So Legacy was a huge hit. It's HCW is a very family-friendly event. We want to make sure you know that. But again, like we said, the New Beginnings show coming up May 18th, it's going to be a blast. What we're excited about is we get to announce an exclusive match. Legacy, like I said, we got to see a big amount of title change hands. Biggest one, of course, being the Independence Champion. Handgun Dan was the holder of that. He lost that title in a strap match, and he lost it to Chance Kerrigan. Chance Kerrigan, of course, being a big Wichita fan favorite. So Chance Kerrigan is our current Independence Champion, and the wonderful news that I get to announce is that we get to see Chance Kerrigan defend that title for the very first time against Kane Carter at the New Beginnings match. It should be a huge match. Let me tell you, Kane Carter, a phenomenal wrestler, a phenomenal personality. He is going to definitely put work in. So Chance, I hope you're ready to be a workhorse, because you just got that title. You are about to have to defend that title with the likes of King Carter. It's going to be a great match. Should be a very exciting storyline as it builds up. I can't wait to see kind of how the two go head to head in promos as it builds up to New Beginnings. We don't have long, so it should be a pretty good match as we build to it. Bobby, any thoughts, any questions, or anything you want to throw in there?
I don't remember if you remember, but Chance, I believe, said that he's never lost a match at HCW. So, like, usually his matches are usually like a 3-way or anybody else more than just
Yeah,
one-on-one.
he's been in several matches that don't involve just him. But in solo one-on-one matches, he hasn't lost a match. Is that what he said?
Neither has King Carter. And neither is King Carter.
Man.
So,
okay.
I mean, but also King Carter's left a lot of bad taste in some of the Wichitan's mouth, I guess you could say. Like he's came out and acted like the friendly guy, and then he turns out to be a friendly foe, I guess if you will. Coming from Texas, I mean, Texas, it's a different ballgame. It's just like football down there. It's just like any other sport. I think wrestling is the exact same thing.
King Carter is a big personality, and that can sometimes rub Wichita the wrong way. But all in all, we've got a really, really good match coming up. Like I said, Chance Kerrigan, first time defending that Independence title against King Carter. It is going to be a great showcase of talent, of excitement, and really it should be a very good building of the storyline post-Legacy to kind of see where things are going with a new HCW. Gosh, it's different now with
it's going to be hard to top.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. You got to figure out who's really running this ship. With Billy as only co-owner, this thing is going to be wild over the next couple of months. You better expect twists and turns that you can't possibly expect. Oh, man.
Plus, let's not forget their Patreon, okay? Their Patreon.
Yeah.
Let's not outside of the wrestling part of it. Like, I just got to watch a couple of their like clips and stuff like that on Instagram, I do believe. I don't know if you follow their Instagram, but their Instagram, they kind of added in their color commentary. Whoever's doing their color commentary is doing a phenomenal job. What it sounds like to me is one of the I-70 guys was on this last show, but I don't know what it was shows before that, but it's for sure one of the I-70 guys. And then I also think it could be their referee that also sings the national anthem, the one that did the Leavenworth one. Jeff, yeah. He for
pretty
sure is.
I've heard his voice on there doing it. So
he for sure is, but the other guy that's on this show, I get a lot of I-70 vibes from the guy that hosts I-70 podcast. So phenomenal job. Like it was pretty it was very entertaining from what I heard. So don't just follow just for the wrestling, but the color commentary is really worth it.
There you go.
That's just a personal opinion.
There you go. And make sure, if you're not, follow them on socials. You can find them at HCW Live 23 on all the major social platforms. Follow along. That's where you get all the stories. That's where you get all the behind-the-scenes stuff and get to kind of see HCW come alive. So,
facts. HCW.
There you go.
Why don't we move on to sports, big guy? We could probably make a whole episode of what happened this past week at the draft. Like,
oh, absolutely.
Would you agree?
It was an exciting draft. It was also a weird draft, man. 14 players.
for most
offensive players straight.
14. Was that the
the first 14 players off the board were all offense.
I don't think that was
that's
still the
that
I think
blew
last
the record
year's,
by
2022's draft
by two times as much, dude. Longest we'd ever gone is 7 picks.
16 is what we had 6. No, I'm saying total I'm saying total in the first round.
It's never been 14 straight like that. Most it's ever been was 7.
Oh, okay.
14 straight offensive players gone.
But like 2022, I think they had 18 or no, I think they had 22 players go in the first round.
What's your so 6 quarterbacks went in the first round. Theories on which one stands out? Are any of them clear busts to you?
Caleb Williams.
Clear busts? No, because like, you and I are not in a
you know what?
analyst,
I appreciate the humility there to say that we are nothing and nobody, and we don't have an opinion to say clear anything. Well said. I agree.
Right. But the names that stand out most for like quarterbacks, like I don't think that there's one team that failed at drafting a quarterback, and we can both agree. And I think all of the NFL,
everybody's
all football fans will agree
by
that the Atlanta Falcons are just complete retard. Oh, my bad. Are complete stupid. They're complete stupid. Like it was the dumbest. Okay, it might have been the set. They. I guess I was reading. They said it was the dumbest pick they've ever seen in a draft since 1967 when the
it's
common
not their
draft has
fault
been
they
around.
accidentally had auto draft turned on.
I guess so. I want to know who's running that draft,
my.
like for them, because like Raheem Morris, the new head coach.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Raheem Morris? Is that his name? Okay,
You know him.
he's a defensive guy. Like I don't think they like you. I mean, why would? I don't think he has anything to do with what was going on there.
No,
That's a
your
personal
GM
opinion,
move.
though. Like I don't think he knew what they were.
I'm fairly certain it was the GM who made the pick.
That's so crazy. So weird. I mean, granted, not many head coaches are GMs. They're not all Bill Belichick. Even Bill Belichick, because I was watching the Pat McAfee version of the draft, and he was like, "Wow,
and it's
why?"
especially strange because if you're going to take a quarterback, you would think that the philosophy behind it would be, we just invested 4 years in Kirk Cousins. So if the reason behind it is injuries, which very real possibility, I mean, he's coming off an ACL tear. You can't guarantee that he's going to be playing at max level. But then wouldn't you draft a guy who's then healthy, who's consistently healthy? Not pick a guy who has just as many freaking injuries in their history report, if not more.
Right. And I think that's what makes it. I think if they would have taken like JJ McCarthy, it would have shocked the draft.
It would have made sense.
But they would have had a better.
If it
they would
wasn't
have had a better.
We signed a quarterback and then we drafted a quarterback that's the exact same type.
They could have drafted two other quarterbacks. They could have drafted Bo Nix. They could have drafted JJ McCarthy and still had a better, I guess, reaction from the fans.
I think all of Atlanta, all of the NFL really was baffled by Atlanta's decision, for sure.
Now, I mean, we did see this once before with Aaron Rodgers when they drafted
Jordan Love.
Green Bay drafted.
And Love sat on the bench for 3 years.
Yeah, Jordan Love
before getting his start.
Yeah. And then with this quarterback, he won't play. They said he probably won't play till he's 27. But they said he probably won't play till he's 27.
That's not the case, though, and you know it.
And granted, but
you and I both know that most likely what's going to happen is he'll do a year or two there, and then they'll trade him, or Kirk won't work out and they'll start him.
Yeah. But then you'll be kind of in an adjusted field situation, maybe.
They handicap themselves no matter what. That's all there is to it.
Yeah. If you're not going to draft like one of the top prospect quarterbacks,
if you're not
like,
going
granted,
to
he was a top prospect, but was he the best option? No.
To help your team in the immediate now, why the heck are you drafting? If you take a quarterback in the 5th or 6th round, so be it. That's the problem. That's strategy. That's planning. The first round is designed for players that make immediate impact. That's the worst of it all.
Agreed. And what's even crazier is that they had a chance because they don't have any wide receivers that stood out this last season. The pick right after their pick with Rome, is it Odunze? That's great. Like you had a chance at having a franchise wide receiver. A legitimate franchise wide receiver with Kirk Cousins as your quarterback. That blows my mind. But not only them, I don't think that they had necessarily the only bad pick. I think that also the fact that the Bills traded the Kansas City Chiefs, that was the dumbest thing I think I've ever seen an AFC team do with another AFC team.
Oh,
the Chiefs won.
Yeah,
the Chiefs won.
Xavier Worthy's such a huge deal. I am curious as to what Buffalo really felt like they got out of it.
The way that a lot of the analysts were talking is that they could get the same guy later in the draft, but they didn't pick up the same guy later in the draft. They didn't pick up anybody with half the speed.
They didn't want Xavier. They didn't
the fastest guy in the NFL.
That's why they were willing to trade with us. They had made their decisions on personnel of who they wanted. Xavier wasn't on their board, but he was on San Francisco's board. That's why we jumped ahead to get him.
Right. And this is what I will say, not just to the Bills, but like also like what happens when they're playing. Because we all know they're going to play this year. What happens when this guy becomes the next Tyreek Hill? Because we all know that he has the speed
and you
too.
cannot put that on the Bills because you and I both know Kansas City will find a way.
Right. They will. But granted, they're also in probably a better situation to get a wide receiver.
So if you think, you have to think about it, what did the Bills get out of this? The extra pick.
I don't know.
And the 4th round.
And what? No,
we got a 3rd round pick.
Or 5th round?
We gave up a 3rd and got their 4th. So basically what we did is we swapped 1st rounds, gave them one of our 3rds, they gave us one of their 4ths, and then we swapped 7th rounds.
That's still like, I don't think that over, like, I just don't see the pick going their way. That's what I'm saying. Like, it didn't benefit them to trade with you, but it also didn't hurt them to trade with you.
Because from the Bills' perspective, you can't know whether their end of it will pay off yet. The end of theirs will pay off mid-season, end of the season, when they've got depth because they picked up that extra pick. And that's when theirs will show up.
Well, did the Bills even have a pick in the 1st round? I don't think they did.
They were 6 in front of us. That's how we traded. Who did they pick?
6. Yeah, I know, but they didn't pick number 32. The Panthers did.
Did they trade?
Panthers were 32 pick.
Okay, again,
they traded with the Panthers.
That's the point.
They didn't have a 1st round pick.
They didn't need a 1st round pick. But they are – that's the thing, dude. They're a patchwork team. You saw how many players they lost. They're not out chasing one guy to fix them. They're trying to fill all the gaps with a bunch of mid-level guys and train them up. It's actually a really good way to do it. It's just not as exciting.
I guess we'll only find out. No,
I don't think it'll be this season. I think it's a rebuilding year for the
it.
Bills, but I could see in 2 years them back to being competitive. Whereas I think if they would have invested in a star, I think it's a bubble decision where either you're immediately successful or you tank and then you're bad for 5 or 6 years because you haven't fixed things and they end up losing Josh Allen, all sorts of stuff down that path.
Oh yeah, and they don't have.
They raided the coffers and completely emptied out their team, so they have to rebuild. They have to.
Ugly for that whole division. I mean, in the AFC as a whole, in the AFC East as a whole, like no other team is as bad as they are in rebuilding.
I don't know, man.
Even the Patriots
might be the ones that
situation.
I would say, will they ever get back to dominance?
Oh, I mean that's one that time will have to tell. But like the Patriots right now in the situation that they have and the way that they set themselves up within the draft are in a better boat than the Bills, in personal opinion, of course. But only time will tell. Like we said, like rebuilding years are weird because everybody thinks like everybody said the Chiefs had a rebuilding year. What happened next year? They won a freaking Super Bowl, but they only lost like a wide receiver. I mean, come on, it's crazy. Another weird pick in my opinion, of course, I'm strictly saying that specifically because I don't want anybody thinking that I'm a professional at this. One that kind of weirded me out a little bit is the Raiders picking up that tight end. That was weird. Like, granted, he's a great tight end, but like they didn't need him. I'm surprised they didn't trade for a player. I don't know, dude.
I thought that kid's pretty.
Did you see who they picked up?
Pretty special. I think
he's great.
When
he's
you're
great.
looking, because here's the thing. Raiders have to compare themselves to us all the time. So they see him, I think, as their Travis Kelce attempt.
I mean, he's big. Can he? And Travis Kelce, his first year was not Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce didn't come until what, 4 years later?
Here's the thing. That's
when he really started to show his
good receiver. Halfway. He couldn't block very well, and he couldn't break out of his routes very well. That is where he's gotten the most improved. He's become, I would say, a better than average blocker, a premier
great route runner.
Which I would say Travis, Tyreek, like that they helped each other a ton. They both became amazing route runners together.
And being close to your quarterback matters. So, like, just like with Tom Brady turned Gronkowski into a
Yep.
great tight end because of how close they were. Not because he was
Again,
a
we're
great tight end, but because
don't
of how
discredit
the
Gronk.
connection was.
Gronk's a great tight end, but he became
No,
exemplary.
but he wouldn't be where
you
he's
go
at.
from good to great because of the quarterback. I would say Gronk, Travis,
At least the
absolutely.
relationship
Gronk,
with
Travis,
the quarterback.
both of them benefited and became way more better athletes in their positions because of their relationship with their quarterbacks, for sure.
Well, who was your favorite? Who was your favorite to see go to a team that you thought that they needed? Outside
it
of
wasn't
Xavier,
my favorite to see. So
Worthy,
not specifically the question you're asking. My favorite player to see go, I hated that he went to a rival team, was a fellow by the name of Joe Alt. Or rather, sorry, not Joe Alt.
Ooh, Notre Dame's tackle.
What's his son's name? Gosh.
Joe
Okay,
Alt, he
yeah,
went to
Joe
the
Alt.
Chargers.
His dad, John
That's-
Alt,
Yeah, the
used
Notre
to play
Dame's
for
tackle.
the Chiefs. He played for the Chiefs from
Yes.
like early 80s to the mid 90s.
Yeah.
So right during my era, he was the tackle I grew up watching. And so John Alt, totally remembered him, was excited to see his son on the
He used to catch touchdowns.
I think
didn't
he caught. He
He
might
used to
have caught a
run
touchdown, so I
routes. I
can't remember.
thought. Have you seen that? Oh, you probably didn't see that Julian Edelman podcast, Games with Names. They had the actor from Modern
Eric
Family,
Stonestreet.
the big guy.
He's diehard Chiefs.
He's a
fan.
huge
Yeah.
Chiefs fan, and he has his own booth up there. Yeah, I think he was talking about how Joe Alt was like a
Makes
good
sense.
route runner,
Makes
like
sense if
a
he probably
tackle
was
that would run routes.
Probably was a tight end before tight ends were really tight ends in that sense.
Look how big his
So
son
Joe,
is. His son
Joe
is
is
so
a
big.
like you can tell he's a second generation lineman, and watch his footwork, watch his handwork, everything.
Yeah.
He's elite. I really wanted to see us.
There's
get
no.
Joe. I really wanted to see us get Joe.
Oh, that would have been cool. I mean, he's too good to be.
I agree.
In the
I
bottom
agree. Him
20
being the
to
first
bottom
tackle off the
10.
board made me happy. That's what I was most excited about. Him being the first
Well,
tackle
yeah.
off the board.
He was the most recruited tackle that they've seen in, like, I would say probably in most
He's
of
gonna
the
be
drafts
good,
we've
too.
ever been in.
You watch
That
him. He's
I've
going
been
to be
alive
good.
for. Oh, he's so. Oh yeah, like there's no real poetic way to really talk about an offensive lineman unless you've been an offensive lineman, because like you have, oh, he's so big and he's so strong. Like that's not the verbiage that's good enough for a tight end or a tackle or a guard or a center. Like there's other verbiage that
when
you
you
can find where
understand
it
what
just sounds
the real
more graceful.
job is, you realize that them being big is just kind of a side effect of what they have to do. Yeah,
It's a perk. It's just a bit of a
truthfully,
perk.
real
Yeah.
skill when you talk about a lineman is footwork, handwork, and reaction time.
100%. I would go one up higher than that. The first one for me would be worried.
Flexibility
they can play
for sure.
every
Yeah,
line
intelligence
position.
is
I
huge.
think that's
If you have the
Yeah, like
flexibility
that's-
to play all positions,
like if you can play that right there
Yep.
puts a gold little
fact,
check mark in my
I
head.
would say
that,
it's
I've got
what
this guy.
landed Allegretti his starting contract after he left us, because he was our backup lineman who started in the Super Bowl, had that gnarly injury.
Yeah. But also his tenacity to not give a damn about how much pain he was in. He was just
That's
like,
another
"Oh,
thing
screw
you'll
it."
hear of linemen is tenacity.
His
Like
tenacity
guys that
added
fight
this.
through the pain. Yeah, dude. Real grit is something
Just
you have
grit.
to have as a lineman.
True grit.
So it's the least
like, when
exciting
people are talking
position
about
in the
it-
sport. We know it. We accept it. When we
unless
play
you played
it,
unless you played it.
Yeah, it's least exciting to watch. It's so fun to play. It requires a ton of mental agility. It requires just a grittiness to just go beat. Just put your pads on somebody and pop them.
But that's where I think that like Jason Kelsey has helped out the offensive line position as a whole, because I think it brought more radar towards that position on how, like, I guess, of a necessity that it has to be to have somebody like Jason Kelsey, have somebody like Joe Alt or his son, everything like that, that you can honestly say that can be given to Jason Kelsey.
I'd absolutely
Thank you,
agree.
Jason
He has
Kelsey, for
helped
bringing shining light.
a new generation to appreciate linemen, for sure. So shout out to you, Jason. We appreciate you.
Oh, yeah. But another one I would say that won the overall draft, in my opinion, of course, now outside of the quarterback realm, the Vikings, I think, made one of the greatest trades that we've seen in draft history with picking up J.J. McCarthy and then wiping out with the 17th pick, getting the edge rusher,
Dallas Turner.
Dallas Turner. Dude,
Yeah. Yeah.
in the same round. How do you pick up one of the top quarterbacks and one of the top edge rushers? Like, they benefited 100%.
Minnesota,
crazy.
Minnesota
Who did they trade
was
for that,
walking
too?
a plank with with letting Kirk go, and they definitely. I mean, we'll have to wait and see if it plays out. I think McCarthy's a solid pick. I think he's of Jaden Daniels to me is the only one. Maybe Bo Nix just because he has so much experience. But only a few of these quarterbacks really look like they'll transition well into the NFL. And so,
who do you think the
Jaden
top
Daniels,
QB
in a
as a
heartbeat.
rookie is going to be next year? Early,
no question. He to
Jaden Daniels,
me,
you think so?
he has the easiest time to transition to the NFL. Just looking at the way he plays,
and he's and as long as he's the start, like, it's going to be hard for all of them to be started. We already know Caleb Williams is going to be a starter, 100%. Jaden Daniels still is going to have to fight for the job.
Where'd Jaden
Drake
go again?
May, he could be a starter with the Patriots.
Commanders. That's right.
Jaden went to the Commanders.
So who's he competing with?
Yeah, they were picked number 2.
Who's quarterback over there?
They
Sam?
have
Darnold?
the weird guy from Atlanta. No, Sam Darnold.
Okay.
No, Sam Darnold went to the Vikings. He's at the Vikings. That's why I don't know if JJ McCarthy's going to start right away. I mean, Sam Darnold's not the greatest quarterback, but like, you still
Marcus
have to have
Mariota
some sort of, like,
and Jacoby Brissett and
bridge
Jake
there.
Fromm.
Oh, okay. Well, Jake Fromm, we haven't heard of. Like,
Dude,
when was
he
the last
never
time you heard of
developed.
Jake Fromm?
Yeah, he never
When
developed.
he played in the
Sorry.
national championship?
Jaden Daniels, to me, has the best shot of developing, just from what I see. To be the starter, but
to be
again,
the starter, though,
hear
for
me
sure?
long term, Jaden Daniels has the best, like, when I look at CJ Stroud in his class, and I called CJ Stroud, I see Jaden Daniels as the CJ Stroud of his class. I think he's the under the radar, but will ultimately
they both did go
blow
number 2
up because of it. I think he'll end up producing.
I think Drake May could also be named
I'm
a
not
starter
convinced
because
that
the
that
Patriots
kid's good
really don't
enough to
have
play in the
anybody to,
NFL.
like. Well, I guess only we will see. Because, again, analysts,
seems
they have
like
their
the
opinions
most
also.
likely. He and Caleb Williams seem like the most likely to bust to me. Caleb
Williams? I think
just
Caleb Williams will bust just because the team's not.
All the generations of flashy quarterbacks behind him that had egos.
I'm
Johnny
for sure.
Manziel,
What was that quarterback
I'm trying
at
to think of
Winfield
that.
that you could?
Oh,
the guy that
Winfield?
could
Yeah,
say,
gosh, I remember that guy.
Yeah, the one that could throw 100 yards on his
I
back.
don't
What was his
remember.
name?
What a tool!
And we held him to like negative
tool.
20 yards or something. That was funny.
When players run their mouth like that, though, you can't help but want to shut them up. It's ridiculous.
Well, here's a fun fact. The last time the Falcons drafted a quarterback with the first name
Bro,
Michael, there was a left-handed
no.
thrower. You know this stat had
Bobby.
to be. You know this stat had to be a fan. He was a left-handed thrower, and his first name was
man.
Michael. Uh-oh. Would that be crazy, though, if he was like the rookie of the year? Would that blow your mind?
That would be pretty wild.
That would blow everybody's mind in the NFL. What's another good pick that we saw in the draft?
Chiefs took a tackle in the second
Dallas,
round
we
who
picked
looked
up a
solid.
good
I'm very
tackle.
excited to see him develop.
Yeah, so does Dallas. I wasn't happy with Dallas's place in the draft because we're really, unless we traded
You're in
up,
such
and
an
wasted
ugly spot, dude.
something
20
for
is
another good
the
player.
20s are
The only
terrible
player-
place to be.
But the only player that I could see them wanting to trade up for would be a tight end, Bowers. Like, that's the only one I could ever like that would make sense for Dallas to trade up
for sure.
Yeah, but like, I'm not upset with our offensive tackle. We got Tyler Guyton out of Oklahoma, but he also played for TCU the year that I don't know if he played on that national championship team that they lost however many points by, but big dude, same size as Alt, 6'8", 322 pounds, dude. And he's a pulling tackle. But he also played halfback going into his freshman year of college.
Nuts.
Big
I would not try to
That's
tackle
a
that
big boy
No,
right
thank
there.
you.
Like, huge. No. That's like that's 2 Derrick Henrys, like a freight train coming right at you. But no, other than that, like I thought this was a pretty entertaining draft considering the anticipation for all those quarterbacks going.
There was a lot of
there was so many
exciting
quarterbacks.
stuff, so.
Yeah. Everybody knew who the first, at least top 5 people that were going to be going was.
I don't think so.
So like that kind of takes away
the way those top 5 went.
Who
I think
wasn't
it
going to
shocked
be
a few people.
No, that's the exact same on all but one mock draft. They were the top 5. Yes. Well, no, outside of Drake May. They didn't have Drake May at number 3. They had him going later, but that's it.
That high on people's boards.
But that's it.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knew Caleb Williams would go. Everybody knew that Marvin Harrison Jr. would go quick. Jaden Daniels, of course.
Jaden Daniels, like.
Yeah,
and
you know what?
I think
that's a good point.
Predicted to go number 6.
Those were all kind of predictable. It was the next 10 that really shocked everybody.
Especially with, I mean, Atlanta kind of stirred that whole pot up.
Well, it was the run on the quarterbacks, and they freaking act. All of a sudden, everybody started acting like they were scared and going like Denver going after Bo Nix that high blew me away. Like. I thought for sure they would trade down.
They've had him on their draft board since the
and that's nuts
opening
to me.
week of
Bo Nix is not
of the NFL.
Not a first round draft pick.
Well,
they could have easily gotten him in the second round.
That I would say that they could have.
Bo, yeah.
You think?
With the teams that already got the quarterbacks that they wanted, absolutely Denver was available.
Yeah, but you had other people that were needing quarterback. I mean, the Vikings could have gotten a quarterback. Like that would have been a Vikings pick. Would have been Bo Nix.
Sure,
that's who the Vikings had on their board.
I'm just saying, from my perspective.
Oh, I thought you said who they could have picked up. I think
Bo Nix was a bad pick where they picked him. I think they should have traded down. I would have traded down.
Who else were they going to pick?
I'm not saying don't pick Bo Nix. I'm saying don't pick him where you picked him. It was too early. Trade down.
Yeah, but that's where I think they were running the risk of the Vikings.
Then let the Vikings take him. Bo Nix is not your franchise guy that you waste your first round pick on.
But that's also if JJ wasn't available. If JJ's not available, yeah, they're going to probably take Bo Nix, but JJ was available. But they also traded up to get him. I do too.
Just the way the quarterbacks went was surprising. May going as high as he did, McCarthy falling as low as he did. Yeah,
McCarthy.
When did McCarthy?
McCarthy was actually predicted to go in the second round.
Yeah, but McCarthy's gotten so much hype over the past month. I thought for sure McCarthy would go higher in the stocks.
Right. Well, at first there was a saying that the Giants were going to trade up to get JJ McCarthy, but they didn't. And I'm glad they didn't because they got a great wide receiver out of Malik Neighbors.
So again,
perfect pick for them.
I just thought of all of it, I thought Denver's pick of Bo Nix was a terrible, I just thought that was the loss because I thought they went up.
Any kickers go in this round?
No, I don't think so.
No kickers went in the draft?
Did. Because the Bears drafted him.
Punter did. Huh?
And Caleb Williams texted him and said, "You're not going to be needing to punt much on this team." Because that's Caleb Williams for you.
Okay. We'll see. I mean, granted, the Bears did benefit off of a later pick with who was that? Who was that wide receiver that they got? It was
I don't know.
Who did the Bears get? They got another wide receiver. They've got a stacked receiving lineup.
Oh, yeah, they did pick up
Rome Odunze. Yeah. So they benefited wide receiver wise also. Like they didn't get hurt at all. So, but it was a cool draft to watch. I did watch the first round. I didn't watch the second. I just read up on it afterwards.
Watch the first and then just got updates on all the rest.
But all right, so your early prediction for offensive rookie of the year. Go. Jaden Daniels, is that who it was?
No. Offensive rookie of the year won't go to a quarterback. Yeah.
Really? We didn't see any running backs go. So
Marvin Harrison Jr.
Back. No running back went in the first round.
He's going to ball out and just blow everybody away.
I agree with you. I don't think it'll be if it's a quarterback, I don't think it'll be the ones that went top 2, Jaden Daniels or Caleb. No. But it'll either be Marvin Harrison Jr.
Okay.
or Malik Neighbors. I think
I got defensive
for
rookie
wide
of the year
receivers.
picked out.
So
Cooper DeJean, baby.
who's that?
Cooper.
Who?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Cooper? Oh,
yes,
really?
sir.
You think he's going to go no?
Bro's going to make a name for himself.
I think here's my
think
prediction
he's-
for
do you think-
defensive rookie of the year.
Do
Okay,
you think Cooper's
and
going to
a
be
lot.
bullied?
Oh, go ahead.
Do you think they're going to pick on him?
No, I don't think so.
Bro, every team in the
No,
NFL is going
not at
to
all.
pick on that kid. Are you kidding me? They're going to target him like
You
no
think?
other.
Eh.
Make him work for that title.
We'll see. I'm going to go my defensive pick. My defensive pick is going to be
Okay.
Chop Robinson with the Dolphins. Like I think he's going to be. He's so much like Dallas's edge rusher. Like
I could
there's
see
so many comparisons. But
I could
he's
see
bigger.
Turner getting
like that's the
Dallas
crazy
Turner.
thing. Dallas Turner could get it too, but I think Trop Robinson just has that, like we
Yeah,
said,
but
like that
with
grit that's going to be that.
the
and plus they
Vikings
both
and
came
the
out of Penn
blitz
State.
scheme,
Dallas
I could
is,
see Turner
and
getting plenty of opportunities to get sacks, and so I would bet that Turner will put up some good numbers this year.
Yeah, but I agree with you about the quarterback thing. I don't think.
Hey,
it'll be a
not
quarterback.
sports related, but back to food. Just because I wanted to bring this up because I was super proud of myself for this. I have been because I've been bored
Okay.
lately. I've been playing around in the kitchen making caramel because I love caramel, love candy, right? And you know I'm an old man. You know one of my favorite caramel candies, I think. Werther's Original, baby. You know it.
Werther's?
Love me some Werther's. I made my
I love
own.
Werther's.
I made my own version
Your
of
own Werther's?
no hard
soft
candies.
ones or hard candies.
So I absolutely made my own caramel, and it's. Hang on, I'll grab a piece and show it to you. I'm actually genuinely impressed with how it turned out. So, I was able to pour it out. Basically, I just
How'd you
poured it out
shape
into
them?
a sheet pan, and then just broke it with a knife once it hardened. But
Ooh. Are they thick?
kind of.
Oh, it's like almost
but
like
it's
peanut
caramel.
brittle.
Yeah,
but
so it's
caramel.
Werther's. So that right there is just like a piece of Werther's. But perfect crunch.
Does it have the consistency of brittle or like a Werther's?
Closer to Werther's, but a little softer. So you can bite it. You can
I
bite
like a
it,
good chewy Werther's.
but it's not gonna. Right, it's not gonna break your teeth
Break
like
your
Werther's
teeth.
would. It's just a hair softer.
Yeah, if you were just a,
Mm.
and I love a good Werther's.
Bro.
Like, there's nothing wrong with a Werther's. The only thing better than I don't think there's anything better than a Werther's for a caramel candy. Like the butter, I don't like butterscotch candies. That's not my thing. I prefer caramel Werther's original, or the caramel
Let me
filled
tell you.
Werther's. So good.
Homemade Werther's is where it's at. I can't wait to make you some.
Are you gonna like tag
so-
your own like name to it?
Okay.
Like,
It's so funny that you mentioned that because in thinking about how I might grow the Chubby Buddy, one of the things I thought about doing was road snacks. Wouldn't that be great? Like everybody
Ooh,
needs road
there we
snacks.
go.
So why couldn't I
Yeah.
make homemade road snacks like
Yeah, like
little baggies of Werther's and stuff like
Yeah.
that?
what are you gonna call them? What are you gonna call them?
So have the Chubby Buddy road snacks. How great would that be?
Just call them. Yeah, that'd be cool. But like, are you gonna do like a line of road snacks?
No,
or like those
no,
are
I
gonna
would
be
do a
called
line
road
of road
snacks?
snacks. I'd like caramels and yeah,
Like
Yeah,
your own trail
you get the
mix,
idea.
like your own trail mix.
that's it.
Kind of like what was it? Who is it that makes the little baggies at the dollar store where you can buy like peppermints or
I don't know who makes
like
those,
other
but yeah, I know
different
what you're
cinnamon
talking about, yeah.
discs and
The
stuff
real-
like
yeah,
that?
little cheap bags.
Starlight.
Starlight.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like you'd have your own little
Chubby
candies.
Buddy road snacks.
Yeah, that'd be cool. You have to get some like silicone things to like
Yeah.
pour the caramel into to make your own little design or whatever. Make it like a cube, like an ice cube. Get like the mini ice cube trays, or
that
the
would be fun.
mini ice
Get like
cube
a
balls
fun
that
little
you just throw a
design
little-
or something.
A caramel. Call them caramel drops. Call them caramel drops.
Okay.
Ooh, tagline that, buddy. Or have a Chubby Buddy name to it, like I don't know, the sweet tooth, little caramel sweet tooth.
Sweet sweat.
Anything Ooh, yeah, that'd be good. Or I don't know. You'd have
I
to.
was going to say, we could come up with some really
fun
funny
with it, I
stuff,
think.
for sure.
Oh yeah. I mean, you could come up with some.
Wouldn't that be cool
ones
though?
too,
Like just a bunch of
I won't
snacks
do
and
that.
stuff.
Not here.
But I also thought, I could sell those in the truck. Like people buy your food. Oh, here, I want some of those road snacks.
Yeah, like people that are going
Yes,
to
sir.
work and they just want something to snack on. Yeah, get like. But the trail mix thing, I
Same.
think you can make a killing with.
Yeah,
Like,
dude, if I
especially
use the
if you
ingredients and
those
stuff
nuts.
that I already love, that I already consider to be the best mix, make it up and sell it, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Chubby Buddy Power
like it.
Pack. I don't know. Anything else
Chunky
in
trail
sports?
mix.
I mean, if not, we got entertainment to do.
The chunky
trail mix. I mean, they are bigger than normal. Get like the extra
Yes, sir.
M&Ms, the King's,
size
like their
peanut-
supersized
Well,
peanut M&Ms.
I don't know that
Have
I
you
do
seen
the
those now?
peanut M&Ms. Do the regular M&Ms.
Well, no, they have mega peanut M&Ms now. Like
Really?
they're 3 times the size. I wonder if they've taken those
That'd be my
peanuts and made
guess.
peanut M&Ms. They're pretty big. But entertainment, what you watching? Like I just started watching FBI, or I restarted watching FBI because I stopped halfway through the first season and got bored with it. Now I'm kind of back on track. I haven't really been a fan of that, but
Heather
Blue
and I
Bloods
haven't
I've been
watched
watching.
a ton of stuff lately. We did watch Dune 2. That was phenomenal. Villanueva, I think is his name, the director. Dude's phenomenal, and I can't wait to see number 3. I also need to read Dune Messiah before number 3 comes out because I haven't read Dune Messiah yet. It's
asleep on the
nerd
first
fun,
one.
but basically Dune is a wonderful story telling us that heroes aren't all they're cracked up to be.
Agreed. I heard there's like a
Dude,
worm in it.
The
Kinda like in
sandworms
Beetlejuice,
are
like a
so
giant
cool.
worm.
They're absolutely the inspiration for like Tremors, for the Sarlacc pit, all that stuff.
Oh, that's how
Yeah,
they got
all of
the
that,
Tremors,
all
its
of that
idea.
stems from Frank Herbert.
It's that old?
Dude, this book was written in the 50s.
Oh, I didn't know that was that old.
1950s.
Oh,
It's considered the grandfather of all sci-fis. Like it is the original sci-fi story. In most people's opinions.
so that's probably where they got the Beetlejuice from
absolutely.
too.
Any sort of giant worm that eats through ground and like has rows of teeth in the front entrance where a mouth would be, that's all inspired by Dune.
Yeah, I've never seen them. I keep hearing people talk about the sandworms.
Yeah, so when you
that's the
think
only reason I
Tremors,
know about
shoot,
them.
there's even the SpongeBob where they've got their giant worm or whatever. Like it's referenced in so many different places.
I guess I haven't seen enough SpongeBob.
SpongeBob fans would be disappointed that you don't know
But
about
I'm
the
excited about Netflix.
Buff the Giant.
Probably. I mean, my favorite person off SpongeBob is probably Patrick, just because the guy who voices Patrick.
He's funny. I do.
You know who it is, don't you? You know who it is?
Yep.
The guy from Coach.
Who else was
Plays
he?
Dauber.
Was in, yeah,
Oh.
he's been in a couple of other things.
He was also in Young Sheldon. He was in Young Sheldon. He plays the cop. I love Young Sheldon. I don't care what anybody says. Granted, I think the younger Sheldon has a more punchable face than old Sheldon. Like I prefer old Sheldon.
Young
over
Sheldon
Young
absolutely
is
looks
that
like a kid
fair,
that should be picked on. You're 100% right about that.
Like, I don't know if it's just because he was trying to portray too much of Sheldon
He's
from
uppity.
the show, but like
It's his problem. He's uppity.
He did
He
a
does
good
a
job
really
at it.
good job
Yeah.
of making Sheldon seem uppity like Sheldon was.
there is a couple scenes in that show that could probably bring a tear to
I
your eyes. to really
just
like
the
watching
clips
it
that
in
I've seen
depth.
make me want to watch it. We watched Big Bang Theory. We didn't finish it. So that's probably one that Heather and I want to go
I've
back
seen
and
it 5
finish.
times. Just got done
I think we
rewatching
made
about
it to
3 months
season
ago.
6 and then just kind of fizzled out.
Oh,
We obviously know all
very
the
last
key
episode,
elements. It was a big
gonna make
deal.
you
It was still
tear
going
up,
on,
bud.
you know. So we know they get married. We know there's all sorts of, you know, storylines that we missed out on. But
Season 6. Yeah, I don't know when they. I think season
they're
6
all
is
together.
when
Leonard
and
and
Penny
Penny
got
are not married yet. Where we're at. So, but it's coming.
Oh, okay.
It's coming, and then So
The very last season,
Yeah.
like I teared up a little bit. Like my throat got sore because I
Heather
was
and
holding
I,
back some tears. I was
we
like,
were big
"Dang."
fans of. Did you ever watch Justified with Timothy Oliphant. Man,
No, I never
it's a
watched
modern
that one.
Western. That's the best way to put it. It's a modern Western. He's a U.S. Marshal, and it's cool. It's very good. Yep.
It was an FX show, wasn't
The villain, Walter Goggins, is in
it? It's
Fallout.
also in that
Fallout.
cartoon.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, that's what you were
actor.
saying.
He is the perfect balance to Timothy Oliphant in that series, and I would say that's what makes that series so good. Is Timothy Oliphant on one side, Walter Goggins on the other, and it's just really well done. So we watched that a while ago. We actually just watched the one-off season like addendum that they did afterwards called City Primeval. It takes place in Detroit. It's just a one season storyline, but it's not bad. But we just finished that today, so it was pretty good. It's not bad. I would highly recommend Justified, the original series, like to anybody. That is,
That's probably on
Justified's
Hulu,
on Hulu.
then.
That's where we were
Justified's
watching
probably on
City
Hulu.
Primeval too. So it's on. Both of them are on Hulu.
Okay, well, what shows are you watching now? Because I have one that I want you to start watching. Outside of that one show I told you, let me tell you this. The Godfather
Offer.
show that I was telling you to watch, I recommended it. I recommended it to a vendor. He called me up like 6 months after I told him to watch it, and he goes, "Dude, that was the best show."
That's
in his
the next
70s
one
now.
that I have
60s.
on my list. It's saved and ready to go.
Well, because he told me that he was getting tickets to go watch all the Godfathers in one night at a movie theater, and I was like, dude, before you do that, I highly recommend it. I was getting a quote from him on the phone, and I was like, dude, you've got to watch this show. Since I know that you like The Godfather, I think that you'll enjoy this. And he said that he watched it, and he said that he went back and watched all the Godfathers again,
cool.
and then went to the movie theaters and watched it. He said, I could not be more happy with the way that show portrayed The Godfather. So, I mean, one, I recommend that. But two, if you get a chance, start watching Mayor of Kingstown if you have Paramount.
I've heard very good things about that.
Oh, man. Season 3 is coming out June 4th. Can't wait. I'm so pumped for that show. Mayor of Kingstown, baby. But then another one that I'm excited for is on Netflix. It's going to be a live roast of Tom Brady.
That'll be funny.
Hosted by none other than Kevin Hart.
That'll be interesting.
Live.
That'll be interesting.
I can't wait to watch that. I mean, oh yeah. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. One, Tom Brady's the GOAT. Everybody, if you can't admit it by now, then you're not a true football fan.
Right
he is the GOAT.
Sure.
So, and until anybody takes that from him or dethrones him of that,
absolutely,
nobody comes close. But other than that, I think that's it. I think that's episode 63, bud.
This was fun.
I wish Jordan.
Me too.
I wish
it's
Jordan
tragic.
could have been here.
He's away right now. We think. Have you heard an update on where he's at?
I've not heard an update. I don't know if he's conquering his fear of large bodies of water, but he does have one of those trips coming up.
Girls, I say.
And so.
Oh, Aubrey. Gosh. Wow.
Aubrey.
I literally cycled through all the other girls' name. I hadn't gotten to Aubrey yet. I was like, Maddie, Livy, hang on. It's still going up the list. I was like, hang on.
There's
Aubrey.
another one. There's another one.
So Aubrey, Aubrey's got.
Just
Aubrey's
don't say any of the boys'
Well,
names.
I mean, there's Jackson. He's kind of girly at times, but I'm kidding, Jackson. I love you. No. But yeah, there's no telling. He may be in Daytona. We're not sure. There could be an event. What we do know is he's out there being super dad, like always. So Jordan, we love you. Always.
Usually is. We love you. And if you are listening this far, we appreciate you listening. And if you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing. Hit that like button. Let us know your staples in your household.
What
that you have for snacks
concoction
or
should
food.
we
Let us know what they are.
Like, what's your thing that you love?
Ooh.
No. Come on, Bobby.
Don't
come
put
on.
evil
Let's
on
be
us.
bold. Let's be bold.
Don't
We're
put
gonna
evil
pitch
on
them
us.
out crap like. Well,
What
dude,
if
we have to
crackers,
pitch
bro?
them out and they have to listen to hear about tuna on toast and crap that is in our house, we should have to
my
hear
wife
what
didn't
they're
make that. She
eating,
didn't make
and
poor
we
man
should have to.
nachos.
I don't know. If something sounds edible enough, I might even try it. We'll see.
Hey. Maybe. Just as long as it's not salmon loaf.
Boiled salmon and milk.
Not happening.
disgusting.
Not happening. But don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and all the other socials. Make sure you follow our sponsors of the podcast, which is Rage Beef Jerky and HCW. They have a big show coming up May 18th. That would be True Beginnings. Is that right?
New Beginnings.
New Beginnings, my bad. New Beginnings, May 18th. Doors open at 5. Bell rings at 6.
Tickets
Don't miss
$12.
it.
Kids 12 and under.
Make sure you're
get
following
in
them on.
free.
Make sure you're following them on Patreon for $5 a month. You can't beat it. You won't get anything better unless, of course, you are pirating the WCW
it wouldn't
stuff.
be better.
So don't be a liar. Pay for it. No, because it's legit fandom.
Indies where it's at, man.
True fandom. True fandom.
Nothing like being live at a show and wrestlers in your face, and there being the potential that somebody could get thrown into the chairs right next to you. That's exciting, bro. It was wild.
We saw that. Yeah. Whether you know their name or not, you know
It's
that they're in that
intense.
ring wrestling. So there you go.
I love you too, man.
But I love you, buddy. And we
You're our
love
buddies.
everybody listening here. But I
Even
love
if
you
you're
more.
not chubby, you're chubby at heart. We love you.
You're still
Go
a buddy.
find some good snacks.
Chubby
Tell us
buddy.
all about them. Enjoy them. We'll see you next time. Bye.
But I love you, buddy.
Love you.
Bye.